Fantastic Four Life Story, issue number 6. We have reached the 2010s, and it's the finale to this miniseries, which I have loved. I have really enjoyed this book, and I think it was really fun and creative. And as a lifelong Fantastic Four fan, it's interesting. I have mixed feelings on this issue, and I think as a finale, it misses the mark on certain tones and spends too much time in a different idea than what the actual narrative of the story was going to be. A lot of the earlier issues were this political intrigue about the first superheroes and the world they built around that, and if they're working with the governments and stopping this threat. And while I completely understand the necessity for this to be the wrap-up, it didn't feel like the wrap-up. It felt like we needed to do one more story because it was the 2010s, and we didn't end it in the last one. So we have a really tacked on ending that I don't care for, but I think there's some good stuff in here. And the more I think about this book, the more I'm mixed on it. I really don't think it's the best of this series, which kind of sucks. So we open up in 2014, and Dr. Doom has waged war on the world. And a lot of the earliest heroes have retired. It's the 50th anniversary of the Fantastic Four. We see that Steve Rogers is also retired. And we cut back to the Baxter Building, which we see is for sale at this point. They're looking to get rid of it. Franklin keeps trying to reach his father, but it's unable to do so. And we see that his mom's like, it's all right. We'll try again. Whatever happens, whatever, it doesn't matter. We'll get through this. And we get a nice moment. This is one of the parts of the book I do like, because it goes into the other parts that I like about this issue too. Ben's left alone with Reed when he's in his unconscious state, where he's kind of just silent and unable to do anything. He's like, Doc, we never really talked like this. There's always me yelling at you, or we're in the heat of battle or something. So I don't know what to do, man. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to do this. I resented you for so long. I blamed you for so much, and I don't know. I just missed you, and I can guarantee you I'll never turn my back on you, even in your darkest times, even in my darkest times. I'll always be there for you, Reed. And it's a sweet moment. This is kind of the stuff I want in the book, because immediately after that, we cut to Symkaria, and it's just Riri and Miles and Carol beating up some Doombots. And then we cut back to see Latveria and Ulysses Claus working with Victor Von Doom, making their army stronger. And I don't care. I think it's too late to do the big Victor Von Doom thing. It feels like this should have been the middle of the book. And again, I'm not going to tell you how to write a book. I'm not. I don't like to do that, but I feel like this far into the series, making Victor still the antagonist feels cheap. And if we didn't spend so much time trying to make Galactus the big thing, you could have done more Victor. This feels like a cop-out. I feel like he'd actually try to save the world. And he does for a bit, and then we'll get to it, but whatever. So then we cut to the Stark retirement haven for heroes. A cottage for retired heroes where you can go to. Sue goes to visit Steve, and she's like, this is an all-hands-on-deck situation with Victor. He is literally raging war on everywhere in the world. He has taken over a lot of freaking countries. We need you to come back as Captain America. And he's like, my days are behind me, gal. I can't jump into that world anymore. I'm too old for this. I'm like, yeah, that's fine, man. I don't really give a shit if you come back or not. Makes sense to me. Actually, it doesn't make sense to me. Why is this book focused on the Captain America legacy? I know this is an Americana propaganda book where it's look at the golden age when Kennedy died, everything kind of went downhill and Reagan ruined things, and it's weird the way so I get that aspect why it's about Captain America, but that's a lot of time to dedicate to him. We cut to 2016. Reed's having some inner monologue. He's narrating the entire book. I'm not going to get into every little thing he's narrating, but he's just having this monologue just about all the things he regrets and the things he could have done differently. And we see that inside his mind, he is having this conversation with Johnny. And Johnny is just kind of the devil on his shoulder trying to guide him in a direction that he's trying to figure out so far. It's kind of an interesting thing to see. We cut back to Symkaria, and we see everyone still fighting, and the older generation of heroes are now coming in to help. So we see Tony Stark cuts in, and he's, just old and wearing his armor still. We see Ben Grimm shows up, and he's wearing the Future Foundation suit. We see that Sue shows up, and she's wearing a Future Foundation-looking suit. Not exactly the suits that they wore in the Future Foundation, but close to it. Nice hero pose, where they're like, yay, now we know we can beat the Doombots. Cool. Seems a little late to do this story, but okay, I'll allow it. What I do like about this, and I think this goes very well into the story, that Sue and Ben are still active. I think that's very important, just because that's how it would go. I don't think Ben could give up the fight, and I think Sue would go until she drops. So I think that's really cool. Then you just see more stuff from Latveria. Doom's like, why am I losing? Why are my Doombots being so bad? This sucks. He goes to blame the Tinkerer, but we see that the Tinkerer outsmarted Doom, and he's just like, hey, I made myself into a robot. Boom, I'm dead. Guess what? I betrayed you. Drop all the Doombots. We're going to war, baby. We're taking everybody down with us. So back in the Baxter building, Franklin is still trying to get through to his father. It's not really working. And then you just see, okay, why am I having these visions of Johnny Storm? Why is he antagonizing me? What is he trying to push me to do? I don't understand. But Victor Von Doom comes to Symkaria, and he shows up, and he's like, okay, I'm sick of this shit. Like I get it. You want to be heroes. You want to do all this stuff. I get it. I literally tried to save the world. I was trying to make the world perfect, a better world, one economy. Everything was going to be fine, but you stupid heroes can't see the plan. So you know what? Screw it and screw you. We're going to DEFCON 105, baby. Guess what? I'm doing a bunch of crazy shit you don't even know. So, like, he attacks the heroes of all his Doombots. Everyone kind of getting injured. See, Sue doesn't have the power she used to. Ben doesn't have the strength he used to. But thank goodness Captain America steps into the field again. That, poster child for American propaganda. Here he is, baby. He's coming to save the world in some nice clothes. I like his old person costume. It's really cool. I just like the little collar he has. It's weird. I like it a lot. So they beat up Doom a bit. He's like, I hate you guys so much. I am so resentful for everything we've been through these past couple of years. It all sucks. Guess what? I'm destroying everything now. So he hits a button and all the Doombots blast off. They go all across the world and just wreak destruction and havoc. They literally blow up everything. They're just destroying and destructing. It's everything's going bad. Franklin steps onto the roof of the Baxter building, and from one of the things, we see that the Mad Thinker appears. And he's like, dude, okay, whatever you think of me, I get it. I built these really shitty bots. I get what's going bad here, but there's only one person who can stop this and actually save it. He's like, your father. So the Thinker goes to talk to Reed, and basically we get the plot laid out. Decades ago, they stopped the Mad Thinker. Reed took one of the android heads. He was studying it for a bit, and on that android head was the codes to shut down everything that can stop these Doombots. And the only way to access it is through Reed Richards. So inside his mind, he sees Johnny like, you're not trying hard enough. You got to push yourself further. You got a voice in your head telling you what to do, and I'm the voice in your head telling you, stop being a terrible person. Quit blaming yourself for all the shit you grew up to do, okay? Just deal with the stuff that is happening right now in front of you, okay? Get through it and reach out. And we see in the real world, you see the Thinker and Franklin are kind of like, okay, this isn't going to work. But through some stroke of luck, Reed stretches his arm, pulls out the head. He's like, activate. Goes back to his unconscious state, and then it's just a Reed head now. This android's just Reed head. He's like, why am I doing this? What's happening? And then all across the world, the bots just explode. Yeah, it's kind of easy. Kind of a cheap cop-out, but you know what? Works for me. That's the Fantastic Four. Just simple 60s science fiction. I get it. I'm okay with it. That's like the least of my problems with this book. So I'm fine with it. The war on Doom's over, I guess. They just ended it by saying a code and everything shut down. The Baxter building finally sold a year later. And now everyone's moving out. Reed and Sue are going to move into one of those nice Stark Industries cottage things in the safe haven. Looks great. Everything's going well. And Ben pulls out the Reed Richards head that stopped everything. And it starts talking to everybody. It's like, oh, Sue, it's me, it's Reed. And I felt like when we did this mission, I was going to die or something was going to happen to me. So I recorded all this stuff, very, Endgame for you guys, like Tony Stark did in the movie Endgame. Anyways, this is the stuff I like. This is kind of where I was like, this is what I wanted from the book. If you're going to do something at the very end where Reed saves the world, this is what I wanted it to be. Basically, all he does is just say it to Sue, I'm sorry for the way I treated you. I should have held on to you tighter, but I let you get away. And no matter what happens, I want to be there for you, and I will always be here for you. Franklin, you are the greatest joy I ever had. Watching you grow up was the pride of my life, and I wish I was there for more of it and didn't watch it from afar, but you are going to be a better father than I ever was, and I know you can handle all this. He's like, Ben, I took everything from you, and in exchange, you're the most loyal friend I ever had. I knew I could trust you with my life, and I did every day. I don't deserve to have a friend like you, and yet I can't imagine what my life would be without you. I wish I had more time. And that's essentially the end of Reed Richards in his conscious state. Of course, the body of Reed's still there. He's still operating on a basic level. But that's nice, man. That's it. Like, if we look at this as like a whole piece, this is the story of Reed Richards understanding himself. And it takes the internal voice of his brother-in-law to tell him, you gotta let go, man. Like, you are literally wrapped around so tight in your own head, you're not seeing the bigger picture here. It's an easy solution. We just shut it off, and then we just accept our place. You apologize to your wife, to your son, and to your friend, and you let it go. It's a story of Reed accepting that he should have had more time. He should have spent more time with the people he loved as opposed to being wrapped up in his own world. And to me, that's a satisfying conclusion. Did we need all this stuff with Captain America coming back out there? Did we need all this stuff with like Doctor Doom planning one more bullshit mission? Yes and no. I do kind of like Doom being like, fuck it, I'm killing everybody. That's kind of a badass thing that Doom would do. He's just like, at the end, he's like, you guys don't get it. I was actually going to save the world. He probably would have. And now it's destroyed because nobody would trust him. That's kind of cool. I think that part's a good story. The rest of it, I could go without. So that's basically the end of Reed Richards, and then we get one last page where we just see they move into like one of those homes that Steve Rogers was living into. It just ends with Reed and Sue together. It's like, just in the end, it's us, and yet it leaves so much greater, and it's just like a better life, and time captures us all, and it's nice. You just see like all the pictures they put on the wall behind them. And I will say this ending is emotional. I do like seeing it, you know, Franklin with his wife, their wedding, and Ben with his kids and Alicia, and the photo of Johnny. I do like this ending. It's strong. It is satisfying. There's a couple of things in here I think don't work, but if we look at this issue as like Reed accepting what he did and who he was and coming to terms with the mistakes he made, I like that a little more. I kind of like turned myself around on that part of the book. I still don't think we needed so much time dedicated to like the Mad Thinker or Captain America. Those are weird choices. But I guess if you're presenting like a 2010s era, you do those things. There's a lot of good in here. It's well written. It's well prepared. It's a great thesis statement on the mindset of Reed Richards and the way he acts. It's not my favorite of the run. That still goes to the 80s. I think that's the issue where Johnny dies. I just think all the positive there is in this book, there's enough in here where I'm like, okay, this is not the best. But I did have a good time reading it. I'm definitely going to buy the trade. I have every single issue. I'm going to promote this book to people just because I think it's a fun concept. And while the landing missed for me a little bit, the stuff I did like was well presented and it was well executed. And it's a great just story for the Fantastic Four. If you want something that's a little off the beaten path for these characters, it's a great place to start and a great place to read them. If you are a longtime Fantastic Four fan, I can see you getting mad that certain things don't happen. But honestly, I'd rather this than just retreading old ground. So that's cool. I do like what that was. Some of it's weird, but it's fine. It's honestly just fine. So Fantastic Four Life Story, issue number 6. I am going to give a 6 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and I will catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, good luck.